If you're planning to start a YouTube channel because you're seeing all the success all these major channels are having, and you're also seeing the amount of money that they're making, you might want to stop and think about why exactly you're doing a YouTube channel. So, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons as to why you don't want to start a YouTube channel. Let's start with reason number one. If a lot of you are starting to look at the channels that are making a lot of money, it's obviously very appealing to start a YouTube channel because you think it's going to be easy to make money, especially just uploading videos on a particular topic or niche that you're focusing on. But the reality is, it's not as simple. When you actually start building out a channel, there's a lot of different aspects you need to look at when it comes to building a successful YouTube channel. And the other reason is that if you're only looking at it from the perspective of earning money, you're more likely to find a downfall, especially when you first start out, because it does take time to build out a YouTube channel, and it's not as straightforward as many channels make it look. The other thing to keep in mind is those channels that are doing very well from a money perspective obviously have done it over a couple of years. So they've been very successful, but they've gone through a lot of failures. And if your main objective for starting a YouTube channel is just to earn money, then you really are creating a pitfall for yourself. So that is a number one reason not to start a YouTube channel. Another reason not to start a YouTube channel is because you feel like you can speak about anything and everything, hoping that you're going to build a very big audience. Now, the reality is that when you start out a YouTube channel, and I was guilty of this, is you actually think you can speak about any topic specifically. Of course, you might be someone who's a generalist that really just wants to create like a vlog speaking about some of your experiences. But if you really want to attract the right kind of audience that you feel are going to increase the number of views for your videos, it is really critical that you really look at what topic or niche you're going to focus on. So if you're not really sure about the type of niche or topic where you're going to build a consistent channel, then there's no point actually starting a channel, because then you're just going to be all over the place. You're not going to have the right strategy. You're not going to really focus on a specific strategy or topic, which means also then that you're going to be really overwhelmed, and you may not actually start producing the kind of content that you want to produce based on the topic that you're talking about. The third reason, and this is a very important reason, why you don't want to start a YouTube channel is if you're not going to be motivated to produce content. Now, this is an absolutely critical aspect when it comes to building a YouTube channel. YouTube essentially wants a lot of content creators, and they want to ensure that content creators are consistently making content, because this is where they allow advertisers to advertise through videos and obviously earn revenue. And YouTube obviously makes a share of that. So it makes sense that if there's more content producers which are producing unique content every time, this is obviously going to help the base of YouTube itself, and obviously to grow their revenue, which in turn means they can pay a lot of their partners who are basically content creators like yourself if you get to the point where you get monetized. And obviously you can make a lot more money. Now, if you start a channel where you basically produce a couple of videos and you don't see results instantly in terms of subscribers or views, and you decide to completely stop, then that's basically where you are sort of falling into that pitfall of thinking that you'll be able to consistently build content because you thought you had the motivation, but your motivation in terms of your goals and objectives was not right. And this goes back to my first point about not starting a YouTube channel just so that you can make some money. So it's critical for you to understand what is the motivation for you to start a YouTube channel. Let's just say that you really enjoy a specific topic, and you know for a fact that you can actually start producing consistent content. So consistency is a key when it comes to YouTube. If you know, for example, that you can produce one video a week and you can stick to that and do it regularly, then stick to that strategy. But if you're someone that's comfortable building maybe 2 to 3 videos a week, and you know for a fact that you're not going to have long breaks, that is going to serve you really well when it comes to building a YouTube channel. Now, I say this from experience because I know for a fact with my own channel, when I first started out, I was producing content, but then I suddenly stopped. And I had quite a long gap before I started re-engaging and putting more content on my channel. The reason I stopped was essentially because, one, I was doing it purely for the money aspect. Secondly, I was doing it because I thought I kind of could speak about anything specifically, especially if it was something that really interested me as a topic, without realizing that I obviously need to attract the right audience when it comes to my videos. And thirdly, also, I just found it was really overwhelming when it came to building out content. I was making it very complicated in terms of the kind of content I wanted to produce. I was sort of watching a lot of channels where I was seeing the types of videos they were making, trying to compare myself on their level, and it didn't really help. So obviously, I realized that there's a couple of things that I need to make really basic when it comes to making a YouTube channel, and it's critical that I followed those particular steps. And it's the very same steps that I'm producing now on my channel. And the last reason why you don't want to start a YouTube channel is because you feel it is something that is just going to help you, let's say, from a therapeutic point of view. Now, it can help you in the sense of maybe sharing experiences, something from a daily perspective. But again, it needs to go tie back to what was the actual reason for starting the channel, especially when it comes to a passion. Now, if your passion is something where you believe that it can create a legacy, so YouTube content obviously stays on forever, right? Unless obviously your channel gets taken down for some reason. But you need to think of the term of how your content is going to be everlasting, where maybe someone in 5 to 10 years can actually watch that content and still find value from it. And that obviously translates into a lot of other things, which are like driving revenue through YouTube, and not necessarily just from YouTube revenue itself. You could start like a course or build a course through your audience on YouTube because you're offering something very specific and niche. And you know for a fact that it is something that is actually going to help you drive additional revenue streams. But more than that, as I said, it's the value that you bring to your audience. And if there is something where they're actually really learning a lot from it, you could potentially build a very big audience that really follows something very unique from your perspective, something that perhaps you are teaching from your own experiences, and something that obviously you feel very passionate about, because the passion is something that people also can see, especially if you're very knowledgeable in a certain area. So, again, going back to starting a YouTube channel, I've given you some reasons as to why you shouldn't start a YouTube channel. So, number one is basically if you're doing it for money. The second is if you're just going to be someone who doesn't have a clear idea about the topic they want to focus on. And the third really is about consistency. So, ensuring you're able to produce content regularly without any sort of major gaps, and obviously creating a legacy for yourself from a YouTube channel perspective. So hopefully that is something that really gave you some insight in terms of starting out a YouTube channel. And if you're maybe also in the beginning stages and you're still evaluating how to build a YouTube channel out. But there's something else also that you can watch here, which will give you some ideas about building a channel on YouTube, specifically around the idea that it is something that can give you a lot of views, a lot of ways of increasing views on your YouTube channels. Some simple tips that you can follow. And hopefully, those are tips that you can also put into your videos as